Good morning, and it's Tuesday, Tracking Tuesday, June the 9th, 2020, and I welcome you on board. Thanks for tuning in. So, what is today all about? Today is Tracking Tuesday. So on my TrainWise page, which you're on now, I have certain themes for each day, and today is about tracking. Now, coming from being a nutritional coach, what better way would it be to give you some tips, some information regarding tracking? So, what I'm going to give you here are 3 tips that are going to help you track without you knowing that you're tracking. Because we all now have easy access to our tracking devices with our apps, with our digital monitors, with our wearable tech. So it becomes very easy to track our exercise habits, our nutritional habits. However, being in lockdown, I would imagine that things have somewhat changed and they've gone down to basics. And that's where it always starts off from. The problem is with basics are that they are not sexy no more. So no one wants to go to basics, where, realistically speaking, that's your foundation. Those are your roots. That is your earth, that is your soil. And if you have been following me long enough, you know that I am a massive believer in getting your soil earthy and healthy. So earthy and healthy, brand new word for you. And that's the way that things get made, by mistake. Right then, so you have a fridge, and I'm assuming you're gonna have a fridge freezer all built in together. So what I would like you to do is buy a magnetic board for that fridge freezer, and I want you to put it onto the fridge freezer, and I want you to buy those little coloured letters and numbers, and I want you to separate that board into a chart. So that chart that you've got there, what I would like you to do is separate it into 3 columns, and those columns are going to be good, naughty and bad. Now the good is what you would consider good wholesome food that you take out of your fridge or freezer. So that being, let's say that in your freezer you've got some frozen vegetables. That would be good. Yeah, so then you put a little marker. So we separate it in colours, or you could put letters saying what it is that you've got. So if it's veg, then you would put a V, yeah? Or if it's a colour that you're going for, go colour coordinated. So with the good stuff, you put something that's going to be quite vibrant, you know, like a yellow. And the naughty stuff, you put something like a red. And then the bad, you put like a black. Something like that. Organise it in your own personal way. There's no rules here for that, for the colour scheme. Anyway, so yes, you're going good. And then you go naughty. So whatever you believe is a bit naughty, then obviously you put it in the naughty column. And that could be anything from like a chocolate bar that you might have in the fridge. And then you're going to put something that's really bad, something like alcohol that you consider really good. Well, that's really bad. So then you'd put that. So that's one way of tracking without tracking. Every time you get something out, then what you see eventually, so give yourself about a week, and then what you'll find is that you'll be able to see how your habitual choices are now becoming live. And whenever anything is live, then we're more prone to understand it. We're more prone to be engaged in it. So with us being engaged in our habits, we can then have the opportunity to reformulate our habits. And that's one way of tracking without tracking. Another way of tracking, which I truly believe is the way, and you know what? I was thinking about this one and I thought to myself, I'm not going to justify it. I'm going to say that this is actually the way if you want results, and that is journaling. Now, we call it a food diary, but it's more than that. It's journaling. So, and here's the justification. I was going to say it's an arduous task. I don't think it is. I think that it's a creative task. I think that it's a constructive task. I think that it's a developmental task. I really think that this can win your game. It really can. And what it is, when you write down a food that you're having, write your emotion down. So 15 minutes before you're going to have that food, go to your journal. And go to your journal, write down how are you feeling, and because you're hungry, okay? So do it when you're hungry. Let's get that out of the way. Do it when you're hungry. So when you're hungry, there's more of a chance that you're going to go onto that irrational thought process. So this is developing you. So this is constructing you. This is character building you in a journaling manner. And I truly believe this really, really works to, again, reformulate your habits when it comes to food. So 15 minutes before you're going to eat, write down your emotions, right? And then whatever you're going to go and eat, then get everything out that you need and then start cooking it, right? And then you've eaten it. Then write down your emotions again. It's not an arduous task. Like I said, I believe it's a truly developmental task. And the third tip that I'm going to give you is portion control. How do you know that you're eating too much? Okay, well then get your hand, right? So with your hand, that fingertip, that little fingertip there, that's about 5 grams. So that's like a teaspoon of sugar or a teaspoon of salt. Think about the end of the thumb. The end of the thumb is about 10 mil. So it's about 10 grams that you're having with the end of the thumb. If you cup your hand like that, that's half a cup. So you can get like a scoop of rice, and that's half a cup. So if you can imagine like a tennis ball. So holding a tennis ball, and that's your size of, let's say, rice, or let's say pasta that you can be measuring. The palm of your hand, like a deck of cards. So you see my fingers, take my fingers away, the palm. That palm there, that's the size of your meat that you will have, your chicken breast, your steak. That's portion control without knowing that you are controlling your portions. So those 3 tips for you, let's summarize them. So that magnetic chart on the fridge, the journal, 15 minutes before, eat your food, and then write down your feelings after that. And then portion control, portion sizes using your hand. Hopefully that's been of some value, and hopefully you'll be more intrigued into what I've got to say on a daily basis. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Wednesday is what you're doing on a Wednesday.